How's it going, everyone? Schwell here with a quick video update. The topic we're going to discuss today is the trigger reset. Now, this may spark a lot of conversation. A lot of people may not agree with me. Some of you may want to argue your points and your opinion. Now, my opinion came about through hands-on experience, as well as a lot of discussion and interaction with law enforcement, contractors, professionals who use their guns every day, especially instructors. When I go to the range, be it as an instructor or just on a casual range trip, I get to observe a lot of shooters. I guess it's the teacher in me. I look at their stance, I look at their mechanics, I look at the things that they're focused on, how they're doing things, and it's just me observing. I learn a lot from it. I learn a lot from new shooters. It helps me teach them when I'm in instructor mode. Now, I watch people shoot all the time, and one thing that I notice when they're shooting is they're at the range, they're lining up their sights, and they're engaging the target. Click. Gun fires. They ride that trigger out slowly, they hear that click, and then they pull the trigger again. And this is how it goes. So they pull the trigger, reset. As soon as they hear that second click, the click of the trigger resetting, they're pulling the trigger again. Now, what that tells me is that they're focused on the reset of the trigger. I know a lot of instructors teach that, especially the new shooters. It helps them get familiar with the gun, how the trigger responds. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing at all. But what I am saying is, over time, you need to grow past that. When I go to the range, or when I am practicing, when I am training, one of the main things that I'm thinking about when I'm pulling that trigger is getting the sights back on target after the trigger has been pulled, after the gun fires. That is my priority. That is what I'm thinking about. I'm not focusing any of my concentration. I'm not focusing at all on the trigger reset. I'm not waiting for that. I'm waiting for my targets to be back on sight. That means that I am going to be able to engage and have a higher chance, a higher probability of hitting my target because I was focused on my sights being aligned with the target. The riding of the trigger, I think it just adds time to the process. I watch people waiting for that reset click, and what that does is it actually slows down the process. You're focusing your attention on the wrong thing. Because while you're focused on that reset of the trigger, what are you not doing? You're not focusing on the sight. You're hoping that your mechanics lines everything up. Once you hear that reset, then you start to focus on it. And then you're rushing shots. You're actually missing. You're not, all you're doing is waiting for those audible cues. I think you should ignore that. I think as we get more experience and more trigger time, we should evolve to a point where our focus is more on the sights, getting the sights back on target, getting the sights aligned, making sure that we're hitting what we're aiming at. That should always be the priority. The trigger reset does not have as much of a bearing on hitting your target as lining up your sights. I think that's what you should be focused on. Again, I'm not the most experienced shooter in the world, but I have a lot of experience. I get to handle guns every day. I get to shoot thousands and thousands of rounds every year. There are a lot of things that I have learned over the years. There are a lot of things that I have changed over the years in my shooting practices. I learned a lot when I did the competitive shooting with IDPA. I learn a lot when I go to training classes. I learn a lot when I go to shooting events and I'm around other professionals. I evolve, or at least I try to. I try and take steps to improve myself. I want to be better than I was yesterday. I want to be a better shooter than I was the last time I went to the range. There are a lot of things that I think we focus on that are a waste of time. And there are a lot of things that I think we should be spending more time focusing on. So let me know how you feel. Have you even thought about this? Why do we focus so much on that trigger reset? Why is it so important to so many people? I don't really know. Again, in the beginning, when I'm teaching a new shooter, sure, it's a way of me helping them understand the function of the gun, helping them get familiar with their firearm. But outside of that, once they're comfortable, once they're competent, I think it's time to let go of that practice. Basically, it's training wheels. My opinion. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for listening to me talk about this. It's extremely important to me. It's something that I've been thinking about and worrying about how I'm going to present it to the masses. But you know what? I thought the best way to do it would be to just address it. So in the comments, let me know how you feel about this topic. Is it something you've even thought about? Is it something you're going to now consider and reevaluate? I reevaluate things on a day-to-day basis, especially when it comes to my shooting. Now, this is Schwell. I hope you're all out there having fun, being safe, and also being responsible. And I'll hit you with the 2 fingers. Later.